So we did have a little mini snowstorm up on the seacoast. So, for what it's worth, some places got close to 5 inches there. And then you mosey on down to Haverhill. It was only about 2.4, 2 inches in Leicester, and Rockland picked up 1.6. So there were some halves here. But Metro West from about Millis all the way to about, we'll say, Wellesley, half an inch on the immediate South Shore, and North Weymouth. Stoneham picked up 0.8. So snow this season, this is interesting to look at, isn't it? Boston's below normal by almost like 11 inches. Total to date 16. You think we'll double that over the next week? I do. I think we might. I think we'll look at some big snow totals in Boston. I think we'll crack 6 inches in the next snowstorm. That might be an easy task. We have visibility increasing now. It was foggy earlier. You could see the cold across the Merrimack Valley with that fresh snow. It was colder here, so we had a little bit of a fluff factor through Londonderry and Haverhill and back over towards Salisbury and also up into Portsmouth. But what you see is what you get for overnight low temperatures. They're not really diving south. This isn't going to be in the mid-20s down through Boston or the South Shore. I think it just stabilizes here through the night. The winds will start to stir toward morning, and we have gusts tomorrow with a wind advisory through central Mass, 35 to 40 miles an hour. Some of those gusts over 40 miles per hour at times. It's really going to be whipping out there. And then Saturday it comes down. Sunday on the backside of our storm system, a little gusty, but not by much. It looks like Saturday about 34 and 33 on Sunday after a 37-degree reading. So we do some melting for tomorrow and some thawing. It's not all horror show in the temperature department here, accompanying all this snow. This is another way to look at the timeline for the storm. The time is around 9 o'clock Saturday evening that it starts, and then we get into that heavy snow. Here are these tall columns here that you see, and then it comes down into the morning hours, like 7, 6 o'clock, and then by 5 o'clock it's down, and we're just light snow, and then we're flurrying all the way through 9, maybe even noontime in Boston, at least, greater Boston, and that's how we get our 6 to 9 inches. Wouldn't be surprised to get a 10-inch amount. When we have that tremendous amount of lift in the middle of the night, in the wee hours of the morning, that can create snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. So our models and our guidance are like, 8, 9 inches, but sometimes it goes over that because it can't compensate for that kind of lift. Sometimes it's so intense in the atmosphere, it kind of just misjudges it, really. So we're kind of in that 6 to 9 inch range with the idea that maybe somebody comes out around 10. And that is everywhere here that we see that shading all the way through southern New Hampshire. I mean, we're not discriminating at all. And you get near the canal, and it's more like 3 to 6. And we see that 3 mainly on the Vineyard and Nantucket. A solid 5, 6 on Cape Cod for a change, right? We know we have a few storms left in the pipeline, potentially 3 more. Mostly snow scenarios here. It's going to be cold enough. I mean, just cold enough. No coastal flooding or high wind yet. And we just are trying to nail down that precise timing. It's so busy. It's like a traffic jam in the atmosphere. It seems like we have an event on Tuesday, but that one could go a little bit farther offshore, and we could just get a glancing shot from that. And then it looks like we may culminate with a big storm next weekend, too. Specific snow amounts are tough to see, but you can see, at least in the pipeline here, this is the weekend storm, and then we get a pause, and then Tuesday's coming up, and a lot of the guidance is now starting to edge that down, squash that part here down a little bit more. And then we see the next storm system coming up for Thursday, and then the final one at the end of it. Do I have any business talking about next weekend? That does look like a biggie, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. First alert, though, for Sunday, and temperatures in the lower 30s. We're back after the break.